Hey, how's it going? It's Alexander Insights, and we're back with another video. We're going to go over a trading recap here that we played on AMD this morning. First, I'll show you how we got the target. And this is how I get all the targets. Is I go to the daily chart here on TradingView, and I look for either a high or a low of a wick of a candle from a different day. So we had a big drop over the weekend. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. And so this morning I was drawing out where my targets were. So this is the high of yesterday on Friday of AMD, so I marked that out. If I came here to say Tesla, you see these white lines are the targets. We had the low of Thursday the 8th on January and the low of Tuesday the 2nd of December as my target dates. And we go to the 1 minute chart and adjust it. You see that the first target hit, the second one is down here, and this yellow line would be an entry point. I put this entry point at the bottom of this 1 minute wick, so if this breaks, I think it will go down to this next target depending on what the S&P is doing. But today I'm going to explain to you on the play I did here on AMD. So AMD, here was that target, and I wanted to wait for an entry point, right? So I wanted to get close to that target and pull back. So here, you see how it boomed up? It was getting close to that target, but we had a big pullback here. We would have put our entry point right here initially, after this initial pullback, and then try to enter once it broke this. Well, it went right up, but it tapped it, but it didn't break. So we did not enter that play. We were patient. And the SPY was going down. So we waited for direction on S&P around this bottom here. S&P started going back up, AMD going back up, and then it broke that entry point on this candle. So this is when we get in. As soon as that entry point breaks, we get in for calls. So we get in for calls. There's a little choppiness, but it heads up. It heads up immediately, actually. And we start taking profit, start cutting, 10, 15% around here. Comes back down, we hold, and we would cut when it goes to negative 10%. So we hold, we take profit around here, take profit around here, and then we take our final profit up here. And that's all because we have our entry points. Entry point here. Breaks, get in for calls to take it up towards the target. Made that high, came back down, another entry point. Could have got more calls to go up to that target. And this one actually would have been a little bit better just because it's closer and it's less high risk. It means that price is more likely to reach that target than to not. So that's the play I did there on AMD. And if we look at the S&P 500, no, not like a whole bunch of correlation. S&P 500 actually, is this the S&P? Yeah, S&P 500 actually hit its target today. Actually very choppy in the morning and then going down within the past 15-30 minutes. And AMD kind of, the opposite. Booming up, normal give price back because we got to even things out, and then booming up again. So it doesn't always have to correlate, but I am constantly watching the S&P 500 to see, if I'm gonna get calls here on AMD, like, is the S&P 500 just dumping at the same exact time? Because if it's at the same exact time, then I'm not gonna get in that play. But all these major high market value stocks, they not always going to move with the S&P, but they do take up a large percentage of the S&P holdings, so there is correlation often. And that's what I look for as part of my strategy, is looking for correlation between S&P and then the plays that I'm doing directionally. Other than that, I just wanted to point that out on AMD because I thought it was pretty easy to understand what was going on with the entry points, the highs of the 1 minute candles to the targets of the highs and the lows of the daily candles. Pretty simple strategy. It's what I do every day. And yeah, so thanks for tuning along. I'll be live tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. and do some live scalping. Tune in. Thank you, and have a great day.